everyone, it's Frankie-Lou. I'm coming to you today from the kitchen of the Grow Together Homestead, where I'm pickling up some of my favorite pickles, radish pods. Okay, so if you're watching this video, you probably already know how much I love radish pods. If you don't know about them, you might want to check out Raging About Radishes, where I talk about how useful radishes are besides as just a root vegetable. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is the amount of radish pods that I just picked from 2 roots that I let go to seed. Okay, so that is, and this is about half a pound. Okay, so if you want to do an analysis of how great radish pods are compared to radishes as a root, this is one of the reasons. There's lots of other reasons, but I get a ton of these wonderful, super yummy, super crunchy pods. One of my favorite things to do with is pickling. Some of you have asked for the recipe, so here you go. As promised, radish pod pickles. I do these lots of different ways, but this is probably my favorite way. I do sort of a spicy Mexican take on it because I love these on tacos. I love them chopped up on nachos or on charcuterie trays. They're just so yummy this way. So I do them other ways when I got lots of other herbs on, but these are the ones that run out every year and people ask for at Christmas every single year. So here you go. First, let's make sure we got all our canning stuff ready. Yes, I have my pot. It's already, my big water bath canners out there on my outdoor kitchen, all boiling, ready to go. I've got sterilized jars in the oven, keeping hot. I have all my canning equipment sterilized and keeping warm over there. And I have my tops ready, hot on the stove, keeping warm. So first, let's get the brine started here. For this brine, I'm gonna make pretty sharp one actually. This is much sharper than I would normally use for other products, but I find that for these radish pods, I like a really, really tiny brine. So we're gonna do 2 parts vinegar to 1 part water. It is very tangy, as I said. 2 cups of that. That's what I'm gonna need approximately. I might have a little more brine, but I'd rather have more brine than too little brine. And then I'm gonna put 1 cup of filtered water. So 1 cup of filtered water. Okay, to that I am going to add 2 tablespoons of pickling salt, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and here's the little secret ingredient that makes it super special: smoked paprika. Okay, because this is sort of a Mexican take, I want that smoky, yummy flavor. So I'm adding 1 teaspoon of this. That might not seem like much, but it does go a long way, this stuff. It also adds a nice color. Okay, got that going. Now I'm going to put this over on the stove, bring it up to a boil. Okay, while that's coming to a boil and all the salt and the sugar and the paprika is getting nicely dissolved in there, I have brought my half-pint jars out of the stove because I'm going to start packing them now. So I have all my flavor additions that I'm going to use, and I'm going to put those in each of these jars. I've got 5 here of these half-pint jars. I count, that's usually about the right amount for a half a pound of these radish pods. So I've made a nice blend up here of equal parts, but you can obviously change this around. This is my blend. You make your blend for your spices. I've got equal parts cumin seed, black mustard seed, black peppercorns, and coriander. Okay, nice kind of flavors. I put 1 tablespoon in the bottom of each of my jars. Like I said, I like it really powerfully flavored. You might not want to use as much, but I do like it that powerful. Then I'm going to add some of my fresh ingredients. I'm going to put some bay leaf, a bay leaf. That's not fresh, really, it dried. I don't have any fresh bay leaf, but it's good if you can get a hold of it. I'm putting 1 of those in each of these jars. I'm going to put, I've sliced up a lime, and I'm going to put that evenly distributed between these jars. I'm going to put 2 garlic cloves and a couple slices of jalapeno. So you can see I really am playing on that Mexican. You can see how these would be quite tasty with tacos and nachos and stuff. All right, so those are all in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack my radish pods in nice and tight. Check on my brine. Okay, so get these in there. This almost works out perfectly to 5 jars I've found. It's a good amount. I'll be making several batches of these over the season because I like to use my radish pods as they're super fresh. And when you are picking your radish pods, as with all pickling, try to pickle, if you're going to pickle, make sure that you try to use them as soon after you pick as possible. These have just been nicely rinsed and ready to go. And also make sure you don't leave them too long. So test a couple before you pick them, because once they've got, the seeds have really developed in them, they do get a little woody, so you want them so that they're still nice and snappy, okay? Texture of a really fresh snap pea. All right, so we have those all in there packed nicely. Okay, it's always surprising to me how much they do float to the surface quite a bit. I think I've got them in there nice and tight, but we bubble to get, let's check and see how our brine is doing. Okay, so I've got my brine here. It just started boiling. I've got my packed up jars. Now I'm going to start ladling this in here. It will float to the surface, like I said. I like to pack them so they're about ½ inch from the top. Oh, looks like I got the perfect amount of brine. I've done this a few times. All right, I'm going to bubble these up a bit because there's always going to be some air packed in there. I'm using a sterilized skewer to get any excess air out. Okay, topping up where it has, like I said, to ½ inch. All right, so next I'm going to wipe these rims with a cloth that's been stuck with boiling water. And then I'm going to place a lid on each of these that's been kept warm in hot water. Not quite brought to a boil, but just about. I'm going to finger tighten the rings. Oh, don't want to over tighten, that can really affect the seal actually. Now I'm going to pop these in my hot water bath and process for 20 minutes. I live in a very high elevation, so that's why I do it for that long. You could probably get away with 15 minutes where you are if you're in regular elevation. And I'm going to have some delicious pickles, okay? So I hope you enjoy that. I hope you try it. They're absolutely delicious. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, make sure you let me know. And subscribe if you want to see some of the other recipes and stuff that's going on in the garden and our new baby duckling and all that, because we love to hear from you. And as always, I hope you take this chance to grow together today. Have a good one.